Have you ever heard of the term hyphenated Americans? A hyphenated American, have you heard that? You see it all the time. Asian American, African American, whatever, you do with that, Irish American, right? And there's a hyphen between those two words. And I want to argue here that that hyphen is a big problem and we need to knock it off. Check this out from the Smithsonian Institute, right? We know the Smithsonian, right? It's like the government's like main big museum and research facility, right? This is the Smithsonian. This is the most authoritative source there is, right? Do you remember a couple months ago, they put up a picture, and it was entitled Aspects of White Supremacy Culture. And there was so much outrage about it, they ultimately took it down. Well, here's what they've replaced it with. And the reason I want to share this again, this is the most authoritative compilation of the racist, Marxist, postmodern thinking that we have today around race. This is what your kids are learning at school. Now, yes, there's school districts that have, a little bit here and there, and you have woke diversity seminar leaders that have a little bit here and there. But this from the Smithsonian, this is the official compilation of all of it. And it's as authoritative as you get. It's on the Smithsonian website. So I want to go through a little bit of this here and just remember, this is what your kids are learning at school. This is what they're learning in pop culture, and we need to actively reject it. And I'll tell you how we can do that coming up next. But let's just run through this quick. So it's called Talking About Race. Whiteness. That's the title of this section. Whiteness. Whiteness refers to the way that white people, their customs, culture, and beliefs operate as the standard by which all other groups are compared. America's history have created a culture where non-white persons are seen as inferior or abnormal. This white dominant culture also operates as a social mechanism that grants advantages to white people since they can navigate society both by feeling normal and being viewed as normal. People of color must always consider their racial identity, whatever the situation, due to the systemic and interpersonal racism that still exists. Okay, so that's the intro. Then they quote Toni Morrison, the author, writer Toni Morrison. And the quote they have is, in this country, American means white. Everybody else has to hyphenate. Everybody else has to hyphenate. No, that doesn't need to be true. It may be true today, but it doesn't need to be true. American doesn't need to be white. American just can mean American. But then we had to come up with all these other, then we had to come up with all African American, all these, right? This is really interesting. For a while in the past, there were people in America who would try to other people who were coming in, right? So there'd be people in America, and then there'd be immigrants coming in, and they'd be like, oh, those are Italian Americans. Those are Irish Americans. They're different, they're other. Let's hyphenate them, right? But now it's flipped. Now it's people who are here or coming here, and they want to hyphenate themselves, right? There are people now who are trying to other themselves by hyphenating their identity. Wow, that was deep and insightful. I want more of that. Like, subscribe, get more.